Hey guys, welcome back. This is Pure Evo here. Back to our talk show. I do have some actual special guests with us today.
Special. Short bus.
Short bus special guests. So, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I am Little Beard. This is my comedy partner, Jellybean.
I am the more handsome and more talented part of our comedy act, Beard and Bean.
We both work in convention circuits, do geeky stuff, and we have a comedy show, Beard and Bean. So
Yeah, and go check them out too. So, there'll be links for that below that we'll have for their podcast that you guys can check theirs out too.
Yeah.
So, today, guys, of course, this is about video games. So, what are we talking about today?
well, I know we talked about this a little bit earlier because I get to play video
We're
games.
talking about Pong.
Because we're old.
We're old. And so
old
we're
men.
used to...
I don't get a video game as much as I like because I've got
Right.
kids. So what I have is I have my kids that run around me and school me on games.
Right.
And I was going to kind of gear a little bit more towards board gaming, Dungeons and Dragons, role-playing games, that kind of stuff. Stuff, the hipster back in my day kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, he was a hipster before it was cool.
that's right.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm about the same. I am actually getting more and more into like doing stencil type games where you provide the graphics and put them into, Pong, or last night I was building a tic-tac-toe game.
Yeah.
Is that like our video game?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a tic-tac-toe game probably by the end of next month.
We got a cool Beard and Bean game with the heads and Space Invaders and
Awesome.
stuff like that.
Awesome. Okay. All right, and so basically, starting off, you want to talk about what, Dragon Age?
Dragon Age, that's one of my favorite games.
One of your favorite games, and then
Yeah.
basically, I guess, Beard, you're going to say what kind of coincides from back in the day, how it could meld with it and not.
Right, yeah, and how my version is better than anything that he chooses.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there you go. And guys, remember, in the comments below, whose is better? You just tell us who's right, who's wrong. Just remember that.
Jellybean. Jellybean is right.
So, Jellybean or Beard, your choice. Tell us in the comments, and we'll find out from there. So, we'll start with, of course, the newer age for Dragon Age. What game is this? What is it? Is it what?
Oh, okay. Well, I've been playing the Dragon Age series since Origins.
Okay.
And following along, one of my favorite things is just to go and check out all the YouTube videos about all the different possible endings.
Right.
And so I don't have to screw my character up.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate Dragon Age Origins because it got into the story and it was simple. It was like a step above your JRPGs,
Okay.
but not quite an MMO.
Okay.
And so it allowed a lot more flexibility. Like it felt like I was playing at the table.
At the table, yeah. Okay. And then how's this coincide with like D&D?
How's it coincide? Well, I guess a lot of the same ways. It's just I haven't played Dragon Age, and I don't know as much about it. But of course, it obviously gets its origins from the old school D&D back in the day.
Using your imagination.
Yeah, which most games do anymore.
Well, before Dragon Age, there was Baldur's Gate back in like '98 or so.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's where the history really is, and that's where jumping right out of Wizards of the Coast, and playing those games.
Into Wizards. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I feel so like this is so geeky. Like I gotta go.
Yeah,
Hi, I'm Beard, and
Okay, so
it's been 2 months since I gamed.
Gamers Anonymous.
Yeah.
So maybe we talk about this. What was the first when did you start playing Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh God, I was a little kid, and I think that's why I get, like I was saying, that hipster mentality of I see new stuff sometimes, and I want to go. It's new. You're ruining my fandom. Don't fuck up my fandom.
Right.
But I started playing D&D when I was literally in kindergarten. Not that I knew what the hell I was doing, but I came from a geeky family, my uncles and cousins, and so they corrupted me, and this is before D&D was evil. So I don't know.
Yeah, supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, because I was pre that time, and I remember the whole Canadian Preacher and Geraldo and all that getting involved, and suddenly my mom and school were all like, you should take a break from D&D. But yeah, so I literally started in kindergarten and just played, because that's what everybody did, but I really got into it about 4th, 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then all that hit.
See, I was a grown man before I got to play on tabletop. I was probably 2021 when I had my first Dungeons and Dragons character.
Yeah.
And it was a gnome bard named Gimbal, and I was mocked ferociously that you should never have a gnome bard, and that was a dumb name named Dimble. Now, when they came out with 3.5, the character for the bard was a gnome named Gimbal. And so one of those on my gaming group would say,
Right.
I know what I'm talking about.
Sounds like you get
They
copyright laws.
They
down here.
stole from me.
That's
So-
right.
Now, see, then that's a perfect example of one reason I love the older games, the nostalgia of it like that. Because you remember your first character. You remember his name. You remember what he was. And a lot of these games nowadays, it's like, oh, I played it. It was cool. You don't remember. Everybody in D&D has a love for that first character or those first campaigns that they did. I remember my first character wasn't even a legal character. It was a Kinku out of Fiend and Folio. And which you weren't supposed to have Kinkus, but
Right.
his name was Truffle, and my cousins made him for me. And I think it was one of those like, oh, we're going to try this out. It's kind of a throwaway character. Give it to him, and he'll ruin it.
Right.
But everybody remembers that first character, and that's why it's more, I guess, sentimental. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I can't even remember what I named my first character in Dragon Age.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
So there you go.
don't agree with me. It doesn't make it an argument. Come on, now they'll all agree with me.
Yeah.
That's right. So
In
basically,
which case, then they're also agreeing with me, and therefore I win.
You're having sympathy
I
because
can,
you're gonna
I
know.
can play both sides.
oh,
So yeah, the video game's better.
video games better. So our argument toward that for the saying the video is better versus that, would you say, on tabletop games, I would say, personally, in my opinion, that, there's more imagination there. And that video games, in industry today is more controlling, like, okay, you get to do this versus, oh, I get to do whatever I want.
A lot of that depends on the DM style of your tabletop guy too, because I've had DMs that you're playing in their world, or I've had DMs where you're playing within a world that you both build together as players and DMs.
I was just gonna say not only your DM but your group.
Uh-huh.
'Cause-
And it makes a big difference. And there's a lot of difference. Like, I'll jump on Neverwinter Nights now, the MMO, and it's not like playing with your best buds, drinking Mountain Dew and eating Funyuns. It's just not the same experience.
Sounds like you're siding with me again.
It-
All right,
no,
like this.
no.
Keep going on.
I'm just
keep
saying
going.
it's not the same.
Yeah,
It's
and-
not the same.
Tables are leaning.
And well, like you were saying with the video games, to me it's a lot like when third edition D&D came out. To
Yeah.
me, it feels like they put in, they format things so much that it takes away a lot of the freedom. If you got a good GM and a good gaming group, you shouldn't have to worry about that. And
Right,
that was
yeah.
one of the problems with games, with all role-playing games when they first came out, is it's too easy to become these world destroyer characters.
Right.
And to me, video games and stuff, it does take a lot of that out, which is great because it doesn't give you that option. You can
Right.
only do certain things.
Oh,
But to me, it takes away, it takes away that discipline.
Right.
If you're a good gamer and you have a good gaming group, you don't have to worry about that.
sure.
So to me, it's kind of just alienating the assholes you don't want to play with anyway.
Well, no, and I completely disagree with that because you do have munchkins in video games, and they are the worst trolls ever. And you could kick them out of your table, like you could kick any George away from your table. But these guys take over any PvP room and will just sit and play PvP, and that's all their character's good for, and built towards, and their munchkin and nerfed out, and so it's one of those things where. You were arguing that video games are better in that aspect, and I think that's actually one of the worst points.
Really.
Yeah, at least the interactive ones.
See, and to me, that it takes too much of the imagination away. Which, by the way, thanks for using the George reference with Mikey Mason. That helps. But yeah, to me, it takes it away too much. It takes away that freedom, the imagination. It limits even what your character can look like, what your character can do. Not that I think your character should have down limits. That's the problem with role-playing games to begin with. But
Well, and part of it is, I don't know if I agree with that either, because there are so many character generators out there that
Yeah.
allow for so many different things, and customization, buying any color that you want. But that's the difference is, video games, you're probably going to spend a lot more for less tangible things.
Yeah. And a way to put that into perspective would be basically video games make people lazy. If you pay the money and you want just this, that's what you're going to get. Versus like, say, I put a D&D book here and I put a game of Dragon Age here, and a 10-year-old kid comes up to it, where are they going to pick?
Dragon
Yeah.
Age. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Well-
unless they get older and they get that development and they're like, oh, well, I can do way more of this.
So you're saying D&D is for older, more sophisticated people, and that's a child's toy. The video game. Is that what you're saying?
You'd like to say that, but at the same time,
I'm hearing it from the host over there, dude.
at the same time, I remember someone recently was telling me that they would play illegal characters as a kindergartner. And so maybe they are
There you
children's
go.
toys as well.
Only because my cousins made me do it. It was the peer pressure. I didn't know better. Once I learned, I learned to cheat on my own.
You
so
know,
that's
it's a good thing growing up that your cousins didn't have video cameras if it was that easy to get to do something. Hey, check this out.
Well, see, I don't know with Dragon Age. I do know with my son in every video game out there, the first thing he'll do is
Break it.
no, he'll figure out the hacks and the cheats.
Yeah,
and
break
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he breaks it.
So yeah, and
But you know, there's guys who have been munchkins for years upon years.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the reason I had to step away from tabletop is because I kept running into these munchkin guys who loved, for some reason, to go to psionics every single time, and it's such a broken system, and no one really understands it unless you want to break a game. Then you
Right.
bring in psionics.
see, the whole reason I had to step away from it was the simple problem of, I'm going to call it participation awards. They would continue to change the game to make it fair for everybody, to make it
Right.
easier for. And it wasn't just D&D. You know, Citadel did this, or Games Workshop did this, Palladium did this, and they would keep changing the game to make it easier and easier for people, and to try to make it not as easy to become these game genie characters.
Right.
And that's the whole reason I had to step away from it. And sometimes that's the way I feel with the video game stuff, because it's exactly that. It's not that you kicked ass on your game and you're doing this well because you're just that good, or you're a great player or a great personality. It's
Right.
you logged on more hours than I have.
Sometimes that is the case.
That is the case.
Sometimes it is a matter of I'm better than you are.
No.
So, because no, there's certainly, you know, I'm not going to have the same fast reaction time that other people are going to. My connection speed is not going to be as fast as someone who has spent more money on it. There's a lot of variables that go into it instead of just logged more hours. If you've come across certain items that come up that are more rare, or you've traded for them, or somehow have gotten them, or if you're more of the computer program, if you've gone into God mode and cracked them out and made things work, that helps with a lot of video games. But I don't think it's just a matter of logging more hours. I think there's still quite a bit of luck, and still quite a lot of building community and finding people that you want to game with.
I can give you that. I can give you definitely finding the, and sometimes just finding more items as you've had more time to
Sure.
find those more items.
Sometimes that is. And then I play games.
Are we agreeing too much? Are we supposed to be
Oh, no,
fighting?
you're-
Okay,
you're
making sure I'm
right.
not screwing this out.
Oh, not even close.
Because I hate it, because I usually love disagreeing with him. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, we're in that certain age bracket where you and I are only 5 years apart, and these guys are another 5 years beyond that.
they might be younger than that. You know,
I know at
know.
least 20. I know at least one's 28, right? And about the same.
About the same. Almost
About
30.
the same. So a little more than that. Cause
Well,
I'm
fuck
30.
these guys. Let's just turn on
Right.
them. I'm all
So yeah, there's a little bit of a generation gap there.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's not a bad thing, though.
No,
you know,
not at
it's
all.
good to have the nostalgia in learning and growing up. Like, yeah, I'm maybe almost 30. I did Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff, you know. And the thing is, I have respect for it, knowing that it sets a standard for me when it comes to video games. Because I mean, even if it's me or Chaotic Evo or Lawful Evo, anybody agrees around this show, it's the factor of the respect's there.
Well, just a second. You've got a whole naming system based on the. So you're all Evo, but one of you is chaotic, one's neutral, one's lawful, one's
Yeah,
nerds.
all the way.
So,
I was having a conversation earlier this week talking about maybe coming and doing this show.
Yeah.
And it's the generation gap conversation.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the because I'll even talk to people as old as I am that gamed before me.
Right.
And they were there for the pioneering of it, and then they gamed a lot harder than me even.
Mhm.
And then nowadays when you talk to somebody about D&D, it's like, well, you started on 3rd edition. or something.
Right.
Is that what you started on?
Me, no, I was
Okay.
second edition.
Oh, well, good, then you're still lucky, because
Yeah.
third edition. Yeah.
You're lucky because you had to deal with Thaco.
But it's literally that this is where I came in. Same thing with the Star Wars conversation. If you came in on the prequels,
versus
you might
the
like the
originals.
prequels.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like that with D&D. Wherever you came in is probably what you love. Same thing, Doctor Who, all that stuff. But wherever you came in, that's probably what you love. So it's really hard to argue it and go, no, that's not right. Screw you. Because really, we're all gamers, and as long as everybody's there to play together. Now, there's certain things I just don't like playing. We played 5th edition not long ago. It was a Drunkards and Dragons game.
Yeah.
And where we all got drunk and they videotaped it, and I was scared to death because it's like, I've never played 5th edition. I'm gonna hate it. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And there was
incredibly simplified.
yeah, it was so easy.
Too simplified.
Yeah. Well, I assumed they did that for the drunks. I didn't
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but it was.
Concentration was on the drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
It was so easy, and it made it a fun game. So I really can't say anything bad about it. But yeah, so even the argument of between the video game and the D&D, I could sit here and just have an argument between different editions of D&D,
Yeah.
or from D&D to Games Workshop, or any of that.
Yeah, and like when it comes back to say we're going to go back around to the imagination part, where basically you have game companies out there, like for Dragon Age, EA, and stuff like that. Some people think it's just like they're out there to make the money, but not sit there and actually intentionally make a good game. Regardless if it's this game or not. It's like my passion for EA is not me. I hate them as a whole gaming company. Ridiculous, just hate them because I think when it comes to their Call of Duty, it's just copy and paste. Copy and
It's not
paste
the
your
first time I've
$6.
heard that argument this
See?
week. So.
No, it's just copy and paste go, copy
Sure.
and paste go. And I have no problem putting out the money for a good game, but we left off was
Cost and
We're talking
inflation.
about cost and
Okay.
inflation, and that's the thing is any company, it doesn't be gaming or anything. If they can charge more, they will eventually.
Yeah,
it'll
well,
just
that's
keep going up
business.
and keep going up. That's why some games nowadays, like board games in general, board games are more expensive than they were back then, but they're comparably priced. I think you can go get a good board game and you can play it forever. Role-playing games where they hit you is expansion after expansion after expansion, accessory after accessory. So, which they didn't have as much back then. I mean,
Sure.
back then it was stuff like, oh look, dice where the numbers are already painted in. There you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think the best thing ever with role-playing games that my friends and I decided to do was build our own library as a gaming group. And so instead of one person having to buy all the different books, we buy the books that each of us is individually interested in and leave them in a central location that was accessible to everybody.
I was often that central location. I still have shelves full of stuff. Some stuff I never even played, or some stuff like Cyberpunk I only played a little bit. And my wife harps at me all the time. Well, why do I still keep that? Because nobody plays it. I've got 2 cabinets full of Rage cards that I do think I am the only person on the continent that still plays Rage. I don't know. And you can't play it by yourself, so. But you just save it because you're like, that stuff's worth money now, or it's hard to find. So.
Well, that's fair. All right, let's see. What we got left here is, as we wrap it up here, basically, which do you guys prefer? The idea here is, would you rather play D&D more, or bring it back, or put it into an actual video game itself, or keep the nostalgia as it being a tabletop game? That's the main question of the day.
I personally enjoy tabletops more. Not just because of this argument, but I do join more. Not necessarily D&D, other tabletops. My problem is being an adult with children and stuff. Video games are quicker, easier, and I can play them with my kids without having to explain a lot.
Right.
With role-playing games, I got to explain a lot to my kids. So in a perfect world where I didn't have to work jobs and I could hang out with my kids, or hang out with my friends and stuff, I would be playing role-playing games.
Right.
In the world I live in, I probably would play video games.
You see, same thing but other way around. I prefer video games. I would love to play more tabletop. But I'm a dude who doesn't have kids, but all my friends do. And so they're busy teaching their kids how to play. I don't necessarily have the patience or need to desire to do that. I want to get in and I want to kill stuff and make a story.
See,
And
and doing what we do, living in a land of make-believe, being performers. Role-playing games, you get to perform. You get to play a character. You get to do something unique, and it can be something different each time. With a video game, I'm the same character every time I log in.
Oh yeah, I will see with what we do. I often will make the joke that Jellybean started off as a rogue, as pirate with the scallywags. So he got his extra skill points. He took a couple of years, a couple levels as cleric, and then most recently is raised levels as a wizard. And so
That makes sense.
Yeah.
For people that know your career, that makes sense.
Who knows what I've done with the Jellybean character? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad. I've been the same stinky pirate for a long time. Haven't done anything cool and new. All right.
But yeah, so that answers those questions, guys. In the comments below, just tell us what you think your opinion is. Which is better for you? You know, video games, if it's easier, just, if you have kids or not kids, or if tabletop is the way to go to teach people even video games.
Video
Say
games.
yeah.
Video games. Agree with me. Video games.
No, and I didn't even get to make the argument that video games wouldn't be here without D&D. But they'll
There you
figure it
go.
out. They know
See?
it. They're smart people. That's why they're siding with me.
That's right.
No, they're siding with me because they're video games, not because you're trying to take my answer.
No.
See, you're accusing me of what you were accusing. You're doing what you were accusing me of.
Don't try to double play this with your words and stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I was going off the compliment to the audience.
Vote
They're
for me.
being-
Jellybean. Jellybean's the one you want.
And there you go, guys. So just in the comments below, like I said, who do you think's right? Let us know. We want to know. So, and we'll post comments there. And just make sure you guys like, subscribe, and come check out the channel. And also, in the, down below, you'll see a link to their podcast also, Beard and Bean.
Yeah.
So go check them out also. Get them their likes, whatever they need. They're pretty hilarious guys.
Spread
Money,
the word.
money is what we need.
Yeah.
There
Give us
you go.
money.
Who doesn't need money?
Yeah.
And so we'll see you guys next time. This is Superior Evo signing out. Bye, guys.